What makes a great portrait? How can you catch a glimpse of the authentic character when you are photographing someone? For me, photography has always had this sort of childlike wonder, which only comes out personally for me whenever I decide to stay present in my life, which, let's be honest, in today's society and in our daily lives isn't always possible. But I feel like portraiture is more than observation. It's really an act of courage to photograph someone, to have this power in portraying them. Like Susan Sontag said, to photograph someone is to violate them as they never see themselves. I have had the privilege to create portraits with my mother for the past 6 years, not really knowing what it would transform our relationship into. Something to keep in mind when photographing people is to capture your subjects with respect, all while being honestly interested in their true character. Every photograph that I've ever taken has come from my personal experiences, but also the inspiration that I've gotten from other photographers. So here are my top 5 photographers that have made a huge impact in my portrait series that I've created with my mother. Rineke Dijkstra. One of the reasons I like Rineke Dijkstra's photographic portraits so much is because of how she manages to convey the vulnerable side of her subjects. Dijkstra was trained at the Gerrit Rietveld Academy in Amsterdam, and since the mid-1990s, she has gained international acclaim for her penetrating pictures of teenagers and young adults. Using a 4x5-inch field camera with a standard lens and a tripod, she creates exacting portraits. Frontal views centered in the frame, posed against a minimal background, that offer remarkable observation and emotional force. Her subjects gaze directly at the camera, combining intensity with the classic style of 17th century Dutch portraits by painters such as Johannes Vermeer. Rineke is known for her deadpan photography style, the definition being that a deadpan photograph is devoid of emotion. Her popular series of portraits are of Almerisa Segrick, whom the artist met in a refugee center for Bosnian asylum seekers in the Netherlands in 1994, when Segrick was a child. Rineke Dijkstra has earned international recognition for her unique approach to portraiture. Unlike traditional portraits, Dijkstra's subjects aren't directed to pose or smile. Alex Soth, a photographer from Minneapolis, Minnesota, has captivated audiences with his large-scale, thought-provoking photographs. One of the most celebrated series, Sleeping by the Mississippi, explores the heartland of America, capturing the essence of its people and landscapes. Born in 1969 in Minneapolis, where he is still based, Soth studied at Sarah Lawrence College. Soth uses a large glass plate camera on a tripod. The process requires a degree of patience from the sitter, who has to remain still while Soth sets up the shot, mysteriously disappearing for extended periods of time under a large blanket. This deliberate process allows him to create images with a distinct aesthetic, sharp, detailed, and imbued with a sense of quiet contemplation. The results can seem random, but in the best way, and this serendipitous approach has become Soth's signature. Soth's subjects are as diverse as the American landscape itself, from everyday people living on the fringes to sometimes surreal scenes. He isn't afraid to explore unconventional themes, documenting roadside motels, fetish communities, and hidden corners of American life. Despite his diverse subjects, Soth's photographs consistently maintain a sense of humanity and dignity, inviting viewers to connect with the stories they hold. Soth has an instinct for the relationship between narrative and metaphor. It is this fragile balance of harsh reality and humanity that Soth's photographic language so poetically describes. Larry Sultan. Larry Sultan is an American photographer known for his thought-provoking work, blurred the lines between documentary and personal exploration. Larry Sultan grew up in California's San Fernando Valley, which became a source of inspiration for a number of his projects. His work blends documentary and stage photography to create images of the psychological as well as physical landscape of suburban family life. Sultan tackled deeply personal themes in solo projects like Pictures from Home, a raw and intimate portrait of family dynamics that documented his parents' lives. The photographs feel slightly surreal. This project delved into aging, memory, and the complexities of parent-child relationships, resonating with viewers on a deep level. Sultan never stopped challenging the conventions of photographic documentation, exploring themes of family, home, and facade throughout his career. Sultan's images are, as he was, at once sincere and seductive, guarded and vulnerable. He was ultimately interested in our lifelong search for placement, picturing people who lost their homes or changed their lifestyles. Sultan's work significantly impacted contemporary photography, and he continues to be admired for his creative vision on the field. Alessandra Sanguinetti. Alessandra Sanguinetti is known for her lyrical, softly drawn photography that explores themes of memory, place, and the psychological transitions of youth. Sanguinetti was born in New York and brought up in Argentina. An ICP graduate, she began a series of works in 1999 about the relationship between two 9-year-old cousins, Belinda and Gil, who live in a farm outside of Buenos Aires. Sanguinetti photographed them for 10 years, charting their evolution from girls to young women. The photographs use costumes and props, as well as references to art and literature, to explore the diffuse boundary between fantasy and reality. The adventures of Gil and Belinda, and the enigmatic meaning of their dreams, shot over 5 years, follows the girls as they transition from pre-teens to adolescence, capturing the reverie of innocence. The second series, The Adventures of Gil and Belinda and the Illusion of an Everlasting Summer, followed as they moved from adolescence to adulthood. Her vision is characterized by a close connection to what she has witnessed, her photographic work being rooted often in everyday life, revealing a certain intimacy with the people she has photographed, with whom she has shared moments of life. Charlie Engman. Since 2009, the Chicago-born photographer has been seriously pushing the envelope with the daring portraits of his mother he started taking after moving home in a post-university days. Charlie Engman is an artist making things with the person who made him. The photographer is creating work with his own mother, Kathleen. For the last 10 years, Engman, the photographer, and his mother, the muse, have collaborated on a number of photo shoots that have caught the world's attention, leading to global recognition in the fine art and fashion industries. Beyond the extraordinary closeness that can be presumed when confronting evidence of a decade spent in such close collaboration, the photographs tell us little about the relationship between the photographer and his mother. Engman himself is absent from the work, and his interest in the figure of his mother most often seems like the distant one of the artist. She is a familiar material, repeatedly made strange by his methods. Confronted and often in various states of undress, Charlie's photographs of his mother unapologetically play with taboo. That means even some of the more provocative and eyebrow-raising pictures resist being tasteless. For Engman, he was simply fascinated by how people transform on camera, sometimes to the point of being unrecognizable, as in the case of his mother. This transformation inspired him to capture it and to keep capturing it.